Well, flowing through the heart of north central Nebraska, the Niobrara River isn't just scenic. Its biological significance and diversity caused Congress to designate a portion as a National Scenic River. Casey Wannenberg followed along as park officials documented the river to watch for any potential changes.
Welcome to a nature lover's paradise. The Niobrara National Scenic River is the ecological crossroads for several species of fish, birds, mammals, and reptiles.
We have 6 ecosystems that overlap.
Because of the river's biological importance, Congress designated 76 miles in north central Nebraska as a National Scenic River.
And this place is very, very unique. You don't find a place like this. We have the largest paleontological resources in North America here under us. 200 waterfalls in the first 35 miles.
To make sure this habitat is preserved, the National Park Service is conducting its first ever visual resource inventory. Armed with cameras, the team isn't just snapping pictures.
We're taking a GPS point for photo location.
They're diving into the details, figuring out what's significant in each view.
In this case, the falls would be kind of a focal point and adds some interest to the view.
Mark Meyer is a visual resource specialist with the National Park Service. He traveled from Phoenix to get the lay of the land, or rather, the river.
The landscapes certainly are changing. A lot in the west as far as large solar and wind facilities. But the idea of the inventory is to get baseline information and get out in front so that there's information to share prior to projects being developed.
If you're a regular visitor, you might think you know the river like the back of your hand. But if the river is gradually changing, you might not notice.
We are the largest vegetated sand dunes in the world, where there's only one other vegetated sand dunes like this, and it's in Africa. So if we lose this ecosystem, there isn't anything else to replace it. So we're here to protect that for the future generations.
Future generations who, thanks to this project, will have a detailed snapshot of how this extraordinary resource is changing. Near Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
And finally, documentary makers with ESPN said they were first drawn to the Nebraska Volleyball program by the chance to capture a season framed by the historic Volleyball Day in Nebraska. They wanted to create a special that showed the world why the sport is so popular in the state. But their documentary, No Place Like Nebraska, answered that question, and as Michael Shively tells us, also offers deep profiles on the Big Reds players and coaches.
You're going to hear from Harper Murray and Rebecca Alec and Coach Cook, Merritt Beeson in really raw ways that you've never seen them before. And so I think that's what I look forward to the most with people watching this documentary are the avid fans who think that they know these people. And I think you'll be really surprised about what you learn.
Co-director Jen Carson Strauss says her team compiled 40 terabytes of footage for the documentary. After shooting the major moments of the season, they returned for in-depth interviews in March and followed the team to its spring game in Kearney in May. By the spring, a secondary storyline had developed, star freshman Harper Murray's DUI. The outside hitter spoke to E60 about her mental state at the time.
She was the one that actually wanted to do a second sit-down interview, and she wanted to talk about her story, and that, I think, said a lot about her to me. It wasn't something that I pushed or I forced.
No Place Like Nebraska wrapped filming in May. That was before Murray's June misdemeanor shoplifting charge. Carson Strauss says the documentary might not be what fans expect. She compares it to a journey.
The ups and downs of it, but also the real raw emotions and the mental health aspect that comes after the season concludes, I think is something that probably Husker fans haven't seen in any other treatment that's been done on the program.
No Place Like Nebraska will air at 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday on ESPN. An extended version will be available for streaming on ESPN+. Afterward, you can find more excerpts from our interview with Carson Strauss and the very latest by heading to our website, newschannelnebraska.com. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.